A simple walk through the showroom of Village Ford in Dearborn, Michigan tells a story of a business and an industry that has helped define America for more than 100 years. The photographs adorning the walls bring to memory a time when Americans valued above all else a certain character and simplicity, which all too often seems missing from our modern world. Honesty, integrity, loyalty, community, a commitment to excellence, and attention to detail still thrive in this historic Ford dealership, located in the very birthplace of Ford Motor Company, where Henry Ford himself performed his first miracles that would put the entire world on wheels. In 1907, he released the Model T, which would become the world standard for automobiles for nearly a quarter of a century. And in 1910, Ford established a hometown dealership in Dearborn, Michigan, with his cousin Addison Ford. Addison Ford's dealership would grow and change hands several times throughout the years. He passed the dealership on to his son Clyde in the 1920s. It continued to grow. Clyde became the mayor of Dearborn, and ultimately the dealership became Stuart Wilson Ford. The dealership moved to its current location on Michigan Avenue in 1947, a beautiful facility designed by Henry Ford himself and modeled after the renowned Ford Rotunda.
When you walk around our showroom and see all the historical pictures of Ford Motor Company of Dearborn, Michigan, we take our heritage very serious. You can take a look at our dealership and how even through 5 remodels we've kept the traditional look to it. This is Ford Motor Company, one of the original stores in Dearborn, Michigan, the hometown. So we've taken that tradition very, very serious, and we try to make sure that we could continue it and keep it that way.
What that embodies is our customers are just as aware of our history as they're aware of Ford's history, as they're aware of their own, because that's the community we live in.
In the early 1980s, Jim Sievet, a young entrepreneur with nearly a decade of experience in the automotive dealership world, was approached with an offer to purchase Stuart Wilson Ford.
I put every dime that I had in the world into this dealership, and the year was 1982. Interest rates were 17 to 18%. It was probably one of the worst years to get into business. Car sales were very poor. This dealership was having a lot of trouble making a profit. And yet, in looking at it, I said, I think that this is a dealership close to my house where I grew up in Allen Park. It's in Dearborn, a community I knew well. I used to peek through the windows here when they had new cars back in the 50s and 60s. And as it turns out, the deal went through, and started developing my team.
In 1982, the modern Village Ford was launched, with a commitment to maintain the time-honored values that had carried the dealership nearly a century, but at the same time to thoughtfully change the business in a struggling economy and recraft its methods for the approaching 21st century. The formula worked, and within just 10 years, sales skyrocketed from $40 million to $150 million every year. And in the first 16 years, Village Ford went from number 800 in the country to 17th. This success has been accomplished in no small part through a willingness to try new things and question every aspect of their business.
Back in the early 80s, when interest rates were at 16.5%, and it was just obviously a difficult time for business everywhere, and car shoppers just weren't going to go out and pay that kind of interest, we went to our banks. We found different ways to obviously take our advertising budgets and so on, and to offer our customers interest rates at 6.9%, almost full 10 points below market. We were flooded. I had people taking numbers. I had to go and buy numbers for the showroom so we could take numbers. And it was because we fit the customer's needs. Well, from that day on, we've always tried to look at that. What can we do to be different?
Village Ford has thrived throughout the years, not just by selling great cars, but by intentionally embracing a philosophy of customer service based on timeless principles. This is a business of ideas. Ideas like understanding a customer's needs, helping the community, and going beyond expectations are at the very core of the Village Ford ethic.
It's basically a business of trust. You know, I want them to be honest, I want them to be fair, I want to give them a quality product, I want to give them the best price that there is to give, and I want the employees to feel like they're giving this customer the kind of service that wows them.
These ideas, and a constant drive to build a better customer experience, have inspired Village Ford to invest in new technologies, facilities, and business practices that have literally changed the way vehicles are bought and sold throughout southeastern Michigan. From state-of-the-art service facilities to an enormous stock of new vehicles on the premises, Village Ford is willing to make the investment to best serve the customer and strives to offer customers the best buying and ownership experience available.
If we need a piece of equipment or we need something that's going to benefit our department, Jim is right there saying, get it. If it's going to benefit you, going to benefit our customers, going to help us be the dealership he wants us to be, there's no whims about it. You just go and get it done.
Village Ford has 7 buildings on 13.5 acres. We've got enough storage capacity to keep up to about 1,200 cars and trucks on the ground. We've got a service department that's split into 2 sides of the street and so on, so we've got a lot of facility. We've got a state-of-the-art body shop, which requires us to obviously go out and buy the tools and the things necessary in order to be ready to service those vehicles. It's quite a costly element, but Village Ford has always been on the cutting edge of making sure we have the right equipment and the right tools to service our customers.
The Village Ford commitment to do things differently has led to a loyalty from both customers and employees that is rarely matched in the automobile industry. In a world dominated by high turnover, employees tend to stay and make entire careers at Village Ford, and in many cases, the Village Ford experience spans multiple generations.
2012, we celebrated our 30th year, and we celebrated the Dearborn Country Club. We had all 182 employees come to the dinner there, and at that we recognized 30 employees that had 20 years or more of service at Village Ford. And we have, I think, fabulous morale here at this dealership. I think that having managers that have been here, most of them for 30 years, has such continuity, and people feel so much like family when you have that kind of continuity. In order to have customer satisfaction, you have to have employee satisfaction. And that's how we've won every award Ford has.
I'm lucky and blessed to really have my advisors that have been here 15, 20, 25 years, when you could have a high turnover rate of just a couple of years. And what I think brings back that loyalty and what our customers appreciate is the fact it really truly does start from the top. We don't look at it as a team environment, we truly do look at it as a family environment. We know each other, we know our families, we spend so much time together that we become each other's family, an extended part of that family.
From the beginning, Village Ford has been about more than just selling great cars, crossovers, and trucks. The real key to the mission is supporting the community. Over the years, Village Ford has raised more than $6 million for state and local charities.
I want them to feel like they're not at a car dealership, a typical car dealership. I want them to feel like they're special and that they get that wow factor. They get that where they feel like, you know what, I want to bring the car back here for service. I want to buy my next car here. I want to tell my neighbors about this place. I want people to feel like they're at home here.
Not only are we a Ford dealer, but we're a Ford dealer in Dearborn. We have to set the mark for everybody else.
Yeah, I think kind of like we talked about earlier, the motto that in Dearborn we have to be better, that doesn't just apply to sales, service, parts, collision repair. I think that applies to the business in the community. You know, we have to be a part of the community. We have to be better in Dearborn, not just in what we do, but what we do outside of the business.
To be here under the shadow of the Glass House in the hometown of Ford Motor Company, we want to make sure that we do the best of it. We represent Dearborn, Michigan, the Ford Motor Company. We want to let these people know that we're proud to represent them and the products that they build, and we want them to have the best service and know that the best dealership for Ford Motor Company is in their hometown.
There are times I pinch myself because it's been one of those combinations of I bought it at the very lowest point you could buy it at, and we built it into one of the largest dealerships in the United States, and we did it as a team. We did it with employees, we did it with the community, and we feel great about that. I feel great about that.
Today, with more than 100 years of experience behind them, Village Ford has become one of the most respected Ford dealerships in the entire world. Village Ford has received every award for excellence and performance that Ford Motor Company offers, including winning the coveted Triple Crown Award nearly 10 times and the Distinguished President's Award more than a dozen times. It is all part of the Village Ford promise that in Dearborn, we have to be better.